That you hadn't been paid in a while.
Okay, early start today, November 4th, budget season. Richland County Board of Commissioners are now in session. I'm Commissioner Tony Vero, joined by Commissioners Banks and Mears. We have the wonderful domestic relations judge, Beth Owens, who is a huge fan of Stranger Things. We're all excited about the November premiere. We have our court administrator, Kathy Nelson, our senior clerk, Stacy Crawl. Is Carl Hunnell's downgrade Aiden Gray out there?
Not yet, nope,
Okay, guess he doesn't care about domestic relations, but so.
we are.
All right, Judge, I do have some questions, but before I ask questions, we'll let you give your little overview here.
Sure. In terms of basic items, supplies and whatnot, nothing major there. A few things have been taken down based on, we've had fewer interpreters. We expect fewer interpreters this coming year, no unemployment, no other certain expenses. So you'll note that some of those, everything but salaries has gone down, and I do believe, or stayed the same. There really is nothing fancy there. Our budget in those items is pretty basic. Our salary line item did go up, and the reason being, we have for the last 3 years funded an employee through our mediation fund. And as I've mentioned that maybe before, if you may recall, my goal is to have an attorney mediator helping us more with mediation. We see a lot of success with a good mediator. Brian Kellogg just recently went through all the training, is now a certified domestic relations mediator. We'll be utilizing him for some of our more difficult cases. That won't really cost anything. We may pay him a little bit additional from our mediation fund for his service to do that mediation, because he's doing such a great job, and we want to keep him on board. Other than that, our mediation fund has been depleted over the last 3 years because we have been paying an individual with a line item for her salary there. We would like to move that into our general fund, so we can use our mediation fund hopefully this year to find an attorney mediator who could work part-time and help us try and find an attorney who's willing to do these jobs when we know that they can be paid $300 an hour in the area. Is a challenge. So we're looking only to find someone who could maybe help us maybe a couple days a week with mediation.
Who was previously paid out of mediation?
Still have Sarah Freundlich. She's doing a great job. She's only a few hours a week. So she had been billed from the mediation fund, and then we had been working to split one of our employees who did mediation scheduling from both the mediation fund and the general fund. So our request is to move her into the general fund so that we can utilize all of that mediation funding for the attorney mediator.
So I don't see, this is where I was confused, and I have a couple questions. I don't see Sarah Froelich on your personal service schedule.
She's on the mediation schedule, so she's not in our personal service. She is on page under mediation.
Oh, I see it, mediation.
It's under the mediation fund. I apologize.
Yeah, so I'm in your non-general fund as well. Hold on. There she is. Okay, so you're paying, so then
We pay her 25 an hour.
I show that she's 31 an hour.
Sorry, she had gone up.
So,
Started, she was at 12.
well, so you're showing $31 an hour out of the non-general fund mediation fund.
Correct.
But you're saying you're not gonna use mediation funds to pay her? Because then she would need to show up on the general fund personal service schedule.
It's Jenny C. The assignment clerk is who we're requesting to move. In 2025, we had half her salary at 20 in mediation. We'd like to move that into the general fund so that we then have roughly around the 70, be able to hire an attorney mediator.
So now you want the general fund to pay for 50% of that salary?
The 50% that's there now, yeah. Yep, so it would be then 100%.
Wait, hold on.
I apologize if that's, I know it's,
The assignment clerk,
yeah.
not for Sarah.
Hmm.
Right, you had said Freilich.
Yeah, she's our
You're asking that the general fund pick up 100% of
season.
assignment clerk's salary.
Correct.
Instead of 50%.
That is correct.
Uh, other questions I had is, there are 3 employees, Wright, M. Schuling, and Z. Wilson, that are outside their pay scales.
Okay.
Curious as to that rationale, why they're not receiving cost of living stipends, et cetera, et cetera.
So M. Schuling has been with us for 3 years, and last time we talked about the pay scale issue, I had shared if I needed to, I would be happy to, modify what their job description is. I had never adopted the pay scale, so it was something that was kind of handed to me. I firmly believe certain individuals are underpaid, especially M. Schuling, for the amount of work that he does with our security. Zach Wilson is new. We're paying him at 20 an hour. We're paying him 20 an hour now. I am not asking for an increase in his salary from now to 2026. He came on as initially a part-time bailiff, but he was doing such a great job and our docket was so busy that we decided to keep him on as full-time. And I am very happy with that decision. If you've met Zach, he's a big guy, and we have had him handcuff a couple people already, and they do not try him. And I like that very much, to have 2 strong male presence in our courtroom. We have to handcuff and take people into custody so often that having those 2 individuals there on our staff is very important to me. So I hired.
Matter of, if you're saying they're doing more than just bailiff and they're part-time as we've been doing and as we work with the scales, like Pat Dropsy just went through a whole analysis.
Yeah,
If we don't feel the positions are properly graded, that's something to look, that's
sure,
potentially an easy fix in getting with Jenny and reevaluating the position.
sure.
I would agree, if you have some people serving as security and they're doing more, then I would say probably a pay grade 2 is a little low.
Yes,
But then it's incumbent upon us as a county to get the appropriate job descriptions fixed, so we have
sure.
a true pay scale. So is that something you guys can get with Jenny on?
I've been hesitant to do that only because, being a court, being a judge, I feel that I properly can assess what people are worth. But, in certain jobs, I wouldn't have any problem justifying how these individuals do more than the pay scale 2 or whatever it is. I met with Jenny once before, it was this calendar year, earlier in the year. Would be happy to meet with her again, but I've not yet done that. I've not adopted that pay scale standard.
So is it your position the courts shouldn't be a part of the pay scales? And that's fine if it's not. We have common pleas that are part of it. We have probate that are part of it. Juveniles.
I understand. I'm not too confident to say yes, we should. At the same time, I do feel that with the job description of what the people are doing, I could easily justify it. I'm not there yet.
Okay.
You would certainly have input in that, you're aware of that.
Yes.
Well, I'm still trying to get over the ask out of general fund of 46.9% increase in salaries.
Okay.
And you're moving somebody over
It's the 20,000. Yeah,
within, and that's still pretty good size increase.
I agree. I understand that. Yeah, it is a big ask. How I can justify that is I do believe compared to other courts, we are relatively financially frugal. We've always returned a surplus on our budget. Going forward, I have to be able to keep good employees. The mediation is one of the goals. Do I? Bad.
Really?
We recently lost Abrams Wendling. And she is now on the second floor in the general division. She was offered a position there and took it, so we have to replace a scheduler. So that I've only been able to go 1 year without someone leaving. It's been a
Yeah,
challenge.
I mean, look, I
Yeah,
would agree your salaries are pretty reasonable, Your Honor. And I understand the position, and we haven't asked, by the way, we haven't mandated any offices, courts or not, to come into the pay scale.
okay,
The purposes, the pay scales are quite simple. It's to provide a tool. First off, you want to competitively pay people, and Common Pleas didn't have pay scales. And when they did pay scales, they found out that they had people that were low. So the one things we have told people was this isn't a wage restrictor. Okay, we found some departments and offices that were low and we brought them up. Okay, that's the purpose of a pay scale
okay,
foremost. You want to make sure you're competitively as a county as a whole, paying and retaining
right,
your employees. Second piece is important for us as we look across the county. Knowing a bailiff and the job duties may not be the same in your office as Common Pleas, but we need to get a sense of what bailiffs are making in the county when it comes to budgeting. So if I see a bailiff, and this isn't your case, let's say a bailiff's making $80 an hour, which would be astronomical, but the pay scales help us as the budgeting authority say, okay, why is that position outside the scales? Are we missing? Do they need to be proper? Do they need to be reassessed, right? Is a bailiff also is a magistrate also serving as a court administrator and vice versa? So we haven't mandated that anyone be in the scales, but it's certainly a tool for the budgeting authority to look at. And most, I think thirdly, and very important, it's to show the public, right? They're paying for salaries. How are we as a public compensating? How do we know when you go to hire Joe Smith, what he or she should make in the absence of pay scale? Someone say, well, they made $30 over there, so I need to bring them over 31. I used to hear that,
okay, yeah,
right? But they may not have been doing the same thing in the private sector that they're doing in the public sector. So you haven't mandated, and your salaries aren't high, by the way, right? I mean, they're not, we're not saying they're
okay,
not. $21 an hour in today's day and age
right,
is not astronomical. We understand that.
right,
But I do think if Schuling and Wilson are doing more than just being a bailiff, you'd be pleasantly surprised. They probably wouldn't be a 2. And then Rhiannon Wright, court reporter. I don't know. I don't know enough about.
yeah, and the court reporter term doesn't really designate all that she also
Right.
does, because she is kind of at this time our second administrator. When Kathy is out or busy, to do everything that Kathy does.
Yeah, I think what you're describing is I think those positions are undervalued.
Right, and I don't even like the position titles that we have there, so it would be something I'm open to. And I hope that this next,
We just had an elected official go through it and 9 of the 18 positions found out they were undervalued.
yeah,
Because she didn't do those. Those were done under the previous administration.
So.
They were done under Hockley.
job descriptions.
She did other wage scales. When it was in the last year, it was when they were running.
I certainly think if you met with Jenny, you'd be pleasantly surprised. Knowing what I know a little bit about your office, I probably think that the bailiffs are low. Jenny Rhiannon's probably low as well, but it's your choice.
We've rearranged a lot of job duties.
And I mean, the county pays out of the general fund for updated job descriptions. So that's why a lot of people like it too, because it just helps with job duties and function. You get updated and refreshed job descriptions, but it's your guys' choice.
I will seriously consider that. I appreciate it.
Observation and a question,
Yes, please.
along with what Commissioner Banks indicated, that it looks like a dramatic rise in salaries over the years. Total increase in salary, in expenses from 2023 to your estimate of 2026 is up 39%.
Which,
I'm just looking at the budget summary comparing
Mhm.
23 actual to 2026 estimate. That's my observation, not a question. But I do have a question on your personal service schedule. If I look at the total wages for 2025, it's 468,696, but that doesn't match what's on your budget summary.
They had headings wrong. But you are correct. talked to Stacy about that last week.
Which pages?
So I hid column G, Cliff. Column G. So if you look F and
Personal service schedule salaries, saying does not match your.
right,
Marie.
you had to, and what I did is I caught that last week as well.
Maybe.
Are you looking at the total 612?
Budget summary.
Yeah,
Okay.
looking at,
They do match if you look at this, Cliff. So I caught this too. You're right. So she has 529 there. I got rid of the F and G column because she had some headings wrong. So if you look at 529, and if you go to personal service schedule here, it's 529, 2768.
Yeah, I'm just reading this number here from
I would-
25.
Yeah,
That's
that's
468.
incorrect.
Okay.
That is. I resummed it.
You're saying that. What is the salary increase for 2025? 60?
483.
We approved, yeah, there were some issues there. So we approved actually 485, I believe. They're gonna be close. They're gonna be,
That's just what we've done today.
right, she did year to date. She didn't do what we appropriated, so it looks a lot higher than what it is.
That's where
We
I,
actually appropriated 485. Cause I talked to Stacy about this and then I opened up the old budgets. And she put. You should probably do 2025 appropriations, 2025 year to date, and 2026 request.
Okay, I did 2025 budget, but I put 483 and you're saying it was 480.
It's around 43, 45. You're within budget for this year. But if you look, hold on, let me undo this. If you unhide column G, you did 2025 actual and the heading should actually be 2025 year to date.
Okay,
Yeah, you screwed up on the head.
They were comparing
that's fine. I just want to know for future use.
So I just hid that.
2025 actual year to date, and they were comparing that one to what you were asking for 26.
Actuals and they're going,
Like a huge increase.
that's a huge increase.
Well, I was looking at 2025 budget
Yes.
versus
It's
20
actually
oh,
budget.
we approved 483 or 45, whatever it is, and they're asking this year 529, and it's a 9.52% increase.
yeah, when I said you were 46.9% over, I was looking at the 2025
actual.
have done as
Actual.
Yeah,
and not,
Yeah, I went in and fixed it. It's a 9.52% request, which is still high, but a lot of that request is Jenny C being paid for out of the general fund. They're seeking about a 10% increase in salaries. Their overall budget is 11% request. Obviously, some of that's attributable. Health insurance is up 32%. PWC chargeback, well, not a lot of money's up 58%. So yeah, I just hit that column.
Okay.
I don't have any more questions.
nor do I, since we got that.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ladies, well,
Yeah,
we're behind. Where's Josh?
Standing right outside. the door.
Hey, Josh.
All right, maintenance man.
Yeah. My first question is, why is the men's room floor wet for 2 weeks?
Been wet for like 2 months.
We haven't passed it.
Haven't had
It's not really wet, right?
No, it's just.
False advertising.
Trying to keep people up.
All right, Jimmy Sweat of maintenance. I thought we were getting caught up on all these maintenance projects and then I see capital expenses that are,
No, those are. We'll get there.
all right, so. Let's talk capital projects here.
Where do you want to start?
Yep. I show you had $644,000 crossed out from 2025. Some moved to 2026 and some moved to 2027. You eliminated a few. Can you opine on that?
So going down through the controls upgrade at the courthouse. I have that crossed out. And then going to 2027, because we did the project we're in the middle of the project. Give 2026 because we're gonna do the chiller, and then I figured with some of the other projects it's been possibly brought up, that would be the time to do those. And going down
Can I
to,
ask you another courthouse question? 700,000 for the windows, does that include the recorder's office?
that's all the windows.
All of them? Okay, okay. I know she's,
Originally, 3 years ago, we got an assessment done by Alberger, and there was a range from 450 to 600,000 to do the windows, and we've done a few windows, but with inflation, I threw a big number in there.
going in, all courthouse windows will have been replaced next year.
And you want to do all the windows next year? Do we need to do all the windows next year?
Or
That's $700,000.
Yes.
it would have been better 3 years ago, but we all got
Well,
And it'll be
sticker shock.
3 years from now.
if dog rabbit is what my.
No, I'm just saying it,
Say.
they're the recorder's office, and there's some other stuff that we're gonna have to do too.
There's a really bad.
Can we, and look, we have money in capital, but is this I mean, if we need to do them all, but can we do it over a couple years, or you say, let's just do it? Stacy says
I
we,
said, let's just do it.
Let's just do it. You got the
Okay.
contractor here, you're gonna have to pay for
Alright.
engineering, you're gonna have to pay for.
The
Or
windows might be different next year.
you get a different contractor because they fit at different phases.
Crane in.
They'll have 120-foot lift here probably to do it, so that's,
okay.
but yeah, I mean, that was including all the windows.
Okay,
What do you mean by discussion for under juvenile court plumbing and fire escape at $360,000?
That was actually a project that we are bidding right now.
Right. I mean, I know it's in work, so why do we, I'm just curious.
That was on last year's because juvenile didn't budget for it, so that's why I said this.
can I ask about the dog pound
Yeah,
down there?
yeah, I missed that one on here, but we're in the process of
It's
it.
in process now anyway, so.
This year,
Next.
paid for it, next year. Do we need to add that to the total?
Yes, we're paying for it with capital now, but. So then we really think we're going to have. $2.2 million in capital projects, building maintenance next year,
Well,
including the dog warden.
so like, there's 150,000 that'll be taken out because we did the entire roof at the jail this year.
Oh, well, it's a bargain.
Some other expenses that get moved year to year, like
Right.
the HVAC units at JFS. Yeah. Capital improvements, can we flip to the jail?
Well, we know the sheriff, speaking of capital improvements, he's coming in today. He has about $750,000 worth of capital requests for the jail. That doesn't include the roof and all the work we've done.
So with this year, Stacy and Andrew with the true up stuff, wasn't sure how to do it. I have in my repairs line $100,000, but then down below, if you see, there's an additional $560,000 of possible repairs.
Wait, where are we at? Cause I know that's a,
This sheet.
Oh,
yeah.
So some of those include interior doors, HVAC controls,
Kitchen.
kitchen. I have $100,000 and we told the sheriff and it put 350,000 in for repairs to the kitchen.
So out of their $500,000 request, give or take, we're asking that they come up with some money to assist, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, he's requesting the jail kitchen and their budget didn't note that they were gonna contribute money to that. Did you notice that in their intro letter? That was left out.
I mean, we asked them to put some money in their budget, so
To their budget. Not some of their own money to pay for it.
sorry.
So wait, they're not contributing any funds to that?
No.
But it's going into their budget though, right?
So the request is in their budget. Josh told them to put it in their budget request. Not just his line.
Right.
What he,
Right, so I guess what we're getting at is the 2 million, the 2.2 million isn't even a true reflection of all the capital projects.
because we have to pay for the jail repairs from the general fund.
Right, so we can do it for the true up.
I mean, we could pay it from the investment fund if you want to. We just have to make sure it gets picked up in the true up.
Right.
Which I can tell Maximus that we did that and we'll pick it up, but you do have that option.
No, we can keep that in the general fund and just pay out of transfer money over.
Yep.
So that additional 560 at B.
Up to 2.7 million in capital.
So what do you have? Wait a minute. In your. Go the sheriff.
You are Jimmy Sweat now.
So Josh only has 100,000 in his jail repair line item. And where'd the sheriff put his? In his budget though, in the equipment line,
I gotta go back and look.
that's 902,000. For the kitchen repair.
Yeah, I think so.
So Josh, do you have more yourself on top of that 100,000?
The repairs, see at the bottom.
Yeah.
I didn't put it up there because I had questions on it. The 560.
Okay, we'll have to look at that.
I noticed utilities are going up significantly. Anything there? That's pretty significant.
Well, they went up and we had it going up in 2025.
And what in his budget?
Just for the jail or total? Oh, the main page.
We got it holding steady in the main page. 265.
Correct.
Yeah, what line are you looking at, Tony?
Hold on, I'm getting there. I'm all over the place now. All right, maintenance. budget.
Maintain
Month.
his utilities.
Think we can maintain it to 0 increase?
We made a large increase, significant increase last
Yeah,
year.
you're right. I misspoke. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
And then
It went up last year
And
significantly.
we have a couple of things that should be more efficient this year.
What they say right there.
and did have a significant increase on the cleaning contract services.
Yeah.
As we are going to bid put that out for bid this year, and there's some restrictions and guidelines in there that feels gonna make go up.
We could be doing a better job, but we're gonna pay for it.
Better job, and
You and I, we've discussed that because the taxpayers have put a lot of money into this building. And we need to make sure we maintain it, particularly the stairwells, which
Oh, yeah.
now we're not paying for, I mean, I think we need to discuss some increased cleaning in the stairwells.
that's been a discussion with Rachel and trying to get ideas from our current cleaning.
But stairwells at Peoples.
Do I,
At Peoples,
Oh, every,
stairwells.
all build,
Oh, here, oof.
all
The
buildings.
pupils are pretty nasty.
Well, and some of those need to be done too.
One on the east side of the building. Towards the trailer.
All right, Josh, I don't have any more questions. We have a lot of capital projects.
I don't have anything else.
No, I'm sure
We'll be talking a lot throughout the year.
And there's some of them that, I mean, that they bleed into.
Right, I mean, it's the nature capital project.
Right up. Year went in and
But we have to do the windows, huh?
there's a lot of air leakage, a lot of moisture.
Water
coming
come-
from.
those are gonna need, I gotta talk to the contractor about what the best remedy is to seal the stone up.
All right, Josh Sweat,
Or worse by better.
veterans are up. Right along.
Come right on up. Morning, people.
In the back row. Okay. Didn't know there was anything any different than the back row. Morning, guys.
Right, Kenneth, you're up.
Just, I think we just made what, 2 adjustments? if I
Yeah, it's
remember
in the
right?
letter that you
Oh.
got, just for the insurance and the,
That was the only thing that we had different than what we presented to you earlier. Daryl has been on my not backside, but he has reminded me quite a few times that we needed to get our veteran service officers pay up because of the obligations you guys did to on rating of job titles. And he has told me more than once that we need to take a serious look at that, and I did that this year with the budget, so.
Have you gotten with Jenny on the wage scales yet?
Just going by what Daryl's, and then talking to the other service officers in the other counties, we are low compared to most of the other counties.
Well, I meant that for you, not for you, but for the other
I
people.
understand.
Well, I do think I have talked to Ken about it. I think that service people were a little underpaid.
I don't have any questions. It looks pretty straightforward.
Pretty mature budget. Stable employees, which is good. Thank you.
Hopefully the band will be coming in
after.
probably even March or April, what we're looking at. So thank you for allowing us to do that.
Yes,
We'll have 2 new bands for the passengers.
30 years from now, when you have to replace them, just
That's correct.
the county administrator, and we can maybe speed up the process.
yeah, Andrew was a godsend when I finally sat down and met with him, with helping me get everything done, so, yes.
And we're like everybody else, scared to death with whatever's going to happen to the property taxes.
Yeah,
I mean,
Well, we just reduced them a little bit.
I know, but
Schools are not happy.
And when people see how little we reduced them,
oh, they're already complaining on Facebook,
we
and they complain about everything.
tipped everybody off.
So we talked about that, right?
yes,
Sometimes if you don't do anything at all, it may be even better because they view it as an insult. But the fact is, that was the maximum amount we were allowed to extend the owner occupant, and we felt, hey, rather have 20 to $100 in our pocket than 20 to $100 out of our pocket. So
And it affects so much more people with the owner occupants
yes.
than it did with homestead.
And I saw too, one of the, I've been watching the taxes and the stuff that they're proposing. One of that I saw just recently was the base property tax or the consumer price index. And capital that it can't go any higher than that. That made more sense than anything I've seen yet in the legislature.
Yeah.
So that part comes through.
No, good job on your budget, you guys. I really don't have any questions.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks, Mr. Thaker.
Have a good day then.
Good day.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good day.
Yeah. Well, we got a little bit of time. Let's get through our logistical items. Motion to certify the record of proceedings for October 30th, 2025.
Second.
Thanks, guys.
7 days from today, gentlemen, is Veterans Day.
Yeah, we have the parade I have it on the calendar, right?
Yep.
Yep. Yes.
Yes.
Motion to approve requisitions.
So moved.
Second.
Rivera,
Yes.
Mears.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, we have two utility permit applications, both by Columbia Gas. One's to replace a missing gas test station and the other's excavation right away to cut and abandon a 1-inch service line. May we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Rivera,
Yes.
Yes.
Banks,
Motion to approve our Ohio Family and Children First Grant Agreement effective July 1, 2025 through June 30th of 2027.
So moved.
Second.
Rivera,
Yes.
Commissioner Mears.
Yes.
Commissioner Banks,
Yes.
Okay, next up, we have a request from Court IT upon discussion with maintenance. Feel it's best to add another access control out here to the vestibule. Right, the door entrance down there. And yes, it's located near another one, but any other costs to be efficient and only have one would exceed the cost of the access control in terms of window replacements. The reason why we wanted to, and we're being recorded, but I think it's important. If you just remove the one access control and you have it at the vestibule, if someone gains access through the glass, then you could walk right into the building. So the thought is to add the other access control, but then put that on a timer if need be, and I don't want to publicly say that. So it adds another layer of redundancies, security purposes.
The vestibule.
Just right here, doorway right out here.
Okay.
Yeah. And then there
I
would still
walked in
be,
with an attorney who was complaining they couldn't get in because the pin's been disabled.
they're redoing all that. Yep.
Yeah. Motion to approve.
Commissioner Rivera,
Yes.
Commissioner Mears.
Yes.
Commissioner Banks,
Yes.
Motion to certify monthly delinquent sewer bills.
Second.
Commissioner Rivera,
Yes.
Commissioner Mears.
Yes.
Commissioner Banks,
Yes.
And I have one other item, motion to add Sarah Potes to Richland County Regional Planning, replacing Rebecca Owens.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Rivera,
Yes.
Mears,
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
All right, we will recess and come back at 9:15.
So
Okay, we continue to plow ahead like the Jet Express to Put in Bay here. Efficiency, let's go clerks. Denise Rule, Helen, Heidi back there, looking at her budget. We are joined by our recorder and our engineer who's next. So you got 15 minutes. Take it away.
no worries. Good morning. Our budget's very straightforward, no crazy request. I'll go over legal and then Helen will go over title. If you want to look at your budget summaries, I'll just kind of go down through that. Salaries are pretty straightforward because we did the wage study. Management was based off of that wage scale, kept everyone between the mid and max range. The union staff, they received raises based off their contract, which was previously approved by you, the board. So that was pretty cut and dry. The next line item would be the retirement termination buyout. I did request a larger amount because I do have someone, long-term employee who's mentioned retiring in June. So I want to make sure I have enough to cover the payouts of sick and vacation, et cetera. Our biggest request comes in our supplies and contract service line items. Excuse me. Basically, this is due to the Senate Bill 90 that was passed that required me this past July to offer e-filing as a way to get documents to my office. So previously I was doing civil and criminal already. We did add domestic at that point. So the burden has fallen greatly on our office, has made it easier for the attorneys and the courts. Basically because we now have to print copies, all the services. That's why the copy costs have gone up so much, not to mention at the end of the year when we're over on copies on our copier machines. So that's in a nutshell, the legal side.
And are your 4 non-union positions remain the part-time file? You don't have a part-time file clerk anymore, correct?
I do.
You have 1 part-time. You're right. I'm sorry. I show 15 full-time, 1 part-time. So I show the non-union positions, obviously excluding you, will be your part-time file clerk, civil appeals supervisor, finance supervisor, and domestic supervisor. But Heidi, you've bumped up, right?
Correct.
So you used to be the fiscal supervisor. You're now the deputy clerk, right?
And the fiscal supervisor.
Guys, can you please see that position titles match what's shown in Munis if they don't already?
I did check that.
So you good?
Yes.
Okay. So Heidi is fiscal supervisor.
Finance supervisors.
I did have finance, but you said fiscal a couple seconds ago. Finance
Supervisor.
Okay, thank you. Got it. All right, Helen, thank you.
Not to interrupt real quick, you did mention our part-time file clerk is non-union. He is union.
So how many non-union positions do you have?
In legal, just the 4.
Civil appeals supervisor, finance supervisor, deputy clerk, domestic supervisor. That's
And
3.
criminal supervisor. She was the one that added at the end of last year because that was my title before I became clerk, as well as chief deputy.
Updated. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Goodness. All right, Helen.
Ours looks a little lopsided, but we are have the repairs done at the color window. Waiting to have the contract looked at by the prosecutor, get your stamp on it. So we already have that in the budget because it's for next year. And I don't have any questions on anything.
No, you do a great job with your budget. I don't have any questions. We know we have that capital project there. And Adam,
Which is all coming out of your fund.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes.
Appreciate it. And I did have, back to Denise.
Yeah.
Got quite a decrease in your revenue. $15,000. Why would you think that's gonna go down $17,000?
Sorry, let me find where. I need to be.
We took an average. I think of probably,
Oh, we did.
yeah, we averaged 21, 22, and maybe
Actually, we did
21
4
through
years.
24, the
Yep.
4 years. That was our average.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Just because it's so hard to
It bounces around.
snowball to what's going to be brought in, so it's just an average.
Yeah, I think that's a reasonable way to zone it. I don't have any more questions.
Oh, good. Thank you as always, ladies. We will recess and come back at 9:45. Okay, it is 9:45. We are back in session. I may add for the minutes, we are joined by Carl Hunnell's downgrade Hayden Gray. And we have our county engineer, Adam Gove, who's got many budgets from the auto gas budget to the horse and buggy fund. So where you want to start?
Want to start with general fund,
Oh, I got some questions. So where do you want to start?
tax map?
Start with tax map because I have questions about your tax map budget.
Okay. So basically the biggest change from 25 to 26, there, we are planning right now, 4% increase for wages.
Which leads me to my question.
Okay.
Commissioners had sent out budget guidelines saying they would approve up to 3% in wage increases, 1% in progression, 2.5% in cost of living. So curious how you came to wages outside the guidelines sent by the commissioners.
So this was based on our other departments, union contract, we're at 3.5% this year. I realize those are two separate budgets, but my proposal was for up to 4%, not saying we go to 4%. That's what I put down in our personnel service schedule. So if there's some change I need to make to that, then I would do that.
Okay. I'm not saying yay or nay. I'm like, what?
Yep. That's the salary line item, conversion. We do have one employee who has a little bit of overtime comp time that she will probably use before the end of the year. So I don't know that there'll be a conversion for overtime comp pay. Termination pay, this I've been including for the last couple of years. We do have a long-term employee who's close to 36, 37 years. I've talked with her. She doesn't think 26 is the year she goes, but she's always a bad day from walking out the door. So I just did include that as
the covered in case.
The other item that's a little bit different from 25 would be equipment. We do have an old scanner in the office that's a large format scanner. It's currently connected to a computer. The scanner is probably 15 years old, and the computer that it's connected to is probably 15 years old. And I believe the auditor is planning an update to computers that are used for property searches in the tax map office. And then this upgrade to a scanner would allow us to connect that scanner right to the network and scan and print right from a computer instead of scanning a document onto a thumb drive, taking that thumb drive to your computer and downloading it from there. That's basically everything in the tax map budget.
Okay. You want to do the auto and gas since that's your biggie?
Yep. Basically, auto license gas tax goes to all our operations, engineer's office, highway department. I think we're coming in real close to on track for this year. One thing I did increase is the gas tax receipts. Not that we're seeing more gas tax receipts, but the Ohio Department of Transportation, I believe, has been sitting on quite a carryover in the gas tax fund, which is why we were typically seeing interest per year in over 100,000 in interest every year from that carryover, the interest that's earned on that carryover through the state. In the last transportation budget, there was an item, we haven't seen it yet, but they're supposed to be dispersing a large amount of that carryover to counties, townships, and municipalities.
And you're talking about that's part of the gas revenue being higher then, or my?
Correct. That's why
I show. So what fund has the carryover? That's going to be one of my questions. 6.2% higher in revenue you show.
It's the state.
So the state's
Tax.
gas,
Correct.
must be nice they got that carryover, huh?
Well, that's why they took care of that in the last transportation bill. They're making them disperse that carryover to the townships and
Additional
municipalities.
$600 roughly.
Yeah.
Additional $600 you got.
It'd be close to about 720. So that this figure for 25 was because it's supposed to start this fiscal year, but we have not seen that be deposited into our accounts yet at the county level. So that we probably won't hit that 8 million in revenue this year. So that's why we'll be closer to that 3.8.
The next line has reimbursements falling about half.
Yep. So this year, we're going to be reimbursed from the work we did on Noble Road from the solid waste district. So they're reimbursing us some money. Mansfield reimbursed us some money for some asphalt resurfacing we did within the municipal limits. And then we get certain amounts back from OPWC grants. When we do some of our own work through that grant, we can ask for some of that money back as well. So that's the reason we're not having as much project where we're going to be getting reimbursements for, which is why there's a decline in that line item.
Adam, I show your expenses are 24% higher. Projected to be 24% higher in 26 and 25. I'm looking at the main drivers of that are contract services and equipment.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yep. So as you can see, I was projecting about a $3 million carryover end of 25.
Just coming down to 1.8 in 2026.
Correct. So every year I know I over budget. But I don't want to have as much carryover. So if we're shooting for 20% carryover, I'm trying to shoot for that 25% carryover per year based on revenue. I think we need to not have a large carryover. I should be putting that towards projects that need done, resurfacing, culvert and bridge replacement. So that's why that contract projects is a lot more. So to cut down on that carryover, I'm going to put it into resurfacing and improvements to our highway system.
Here for our last set.
Yeah, you must not have been talking to someone. You must have heard some conversation, huh?
And then field and shop equipment, just below that, just below that, repairs and maintenance. Our repairs and maintenance budget has been increasing over the last couple of years. Not just only due to cost of parts and those types of things, but also the amount of maintenance we're having to do on our vehicles. So we are looking to upgrade a couple items. And I think would like to purchase a new excavator, 2 new dump trucks, and a trailer hauling equipment.
Holding that the same as last year, though.
A little bit, no, the field and shop equipment, that's,
Field, okay.
yeah, sorry. Yeah, the maintenance, I'm
Talking about maintenance.
at the same, just because we are having to do repairs, but.
Can I go back to revenue for a second? You've got interest income dropping about 35,000.
So again, that goes back to that state carryover of gas tax money. So if they're going to start doling out that carryover to townships and municipalities and counties, then that means the amount of interest they're going to earn on that is going to go down.
Oh.
That's why I don't know what a number is, but I'm figuring less than this year.
I'll ask about your sign budget, sign department.
Yes.
3.5 times what it was last year.
So that one, we do have a grant or are expecting a grant to upgrade all our stop signs. And that's a cost that we have to front. And then
Show up in the revenue side then?
it would be in that reimbursements line item. Any other questions on auto license and gas?
No.
Move to County Road and Bridge. This one is pretty standard. Fairly flat level based on late fees that are collected in the county and in the state. This money all goes towards capital improvements on our roadways, the bridges, resurfacing, contracts, action on those projects.
Road materials is more than doubled. 50.
Yeah, we were down a little bit this year. If you look in the past, we're up around 145, 115.
So what happened in 2022?
Not sure. We must have taken more of our road materials out of the auto license and gas tax fund at that time. Any questions on road and bridge?
Nope.
Okay. How about horse-drawn vehicle fund?
Sure.
Where does that show up?
It is fund number 525. I show the budget beginning balance this year was $7,470. They used some for chip seal in the past.
Well, that would be the end of
Yeah.
26. That's your
I'm sorry, end of 26, excuse me, that's the budgeted.
Yep.
You got up to over 26 grand there for a hot second. You used a little bit of it.
Yep.
And now we're around 7,400.
Yeah, and that goes right to road projects in areas that have horse-drawn vehicle travel. So north end of the county, south end of the county. And we just let it build up to a point to where we can feel like we can make with that amount.
Think it's fair what they contribute?
You want to go on the record? Actually, trustees go on the record with that all the time.
We've seen about 20 to 25,000 a year in donations from those communities. To chip and seal a mile of road is 25,000. So
Answer that question.
yeah, you're not doing any resurfacing with 25,000 on it.
I don't think you're getting a paint stripe for 25,000.
Do they hold up better up north or down south?
I would say about equal. I mean, maybe south a little bit. There is more heavy equipment on our roads up north, I feel like.
Does one of them use
They're more Mennonite.
tires more than the other?
They all use steel tires, but they're a lot of them using heavier tractors up north, pulling heavy trailers. Significant damage from.
I don't have any more.
And I don't know if, I have 10,000 for this year. We haven't received any donation yet. They usually come in November, August and November. We did not receive one in August, so I'm not sure if we're getting it all at once or if it's.
Typically give you something in August?
There have been, typical years. We get about half in August and then another portion from two different groups in November.
Do they give money to the township?
I believe some. From what I've heard.
I don't have any more questions. Sheriff and his whole team are here for 10 o'clock.
Do you want to go over the other general fund, the ditch fund? Or?
Yeah, let's do ditch real quick.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I did miss an item on 5's estimate. We did have someone left, an employee left that was under the ditch fund, general fund. So we did have a termination pay of $9,273.69. I'll revise that and resubmit. So I did miss that line item. Same thing, we did 3.5% figured on this one. That's based on our union contracts with the highway department.
Because this person left, does that explain your insurance drop?
Correct, yes. So
Almost half.
yeah, He was covered under insurance. The new employee that's filled that position not take county insurance.
Now hold on a second, one of my notes don't reflect this, give me a second. So which employees are represented? The ditch employees are represented employees, correct?
One is, and one is a
One is
supervisor.
not,
Correct.
the operator is. Okay. You have, what I'm showing is 5% increases?
3.5.
Hold on a second. Okay, yep, you're good, sorry.
Any questions?
I'm good.
Nope,
Thank you.
Thanks, Sam.
thanks, dude.
Just make sure the sheriff knows we're taking all their carryover. They're donating that to us, right?
5% was previous year, my notes are, dumb question.
Good morning.
Morning, guys. All right, come on in, sheriff's offices. Got your ink out, cause having sweats here.
Red ink, I think.
I mean,
That's positive.
I needed to get a special chair as I fell backwards after looking at it. Where you guys want to start?
Wherever you would like to start, Commissioner.
1.5 million in capital request to 2 million, or where you want to start?
Wherever you would prefer.
Start 911.
Yeah, start with the easy. Wait, Greg, you gotta come in and get this here.
So just to start for the 911 budget, if we want to start there, that's the smallest, obviously, of our we submit. The increases we requested in 2025 to what we request solely increase personnel costs due to salaries for the contractual raises. There was a slight increase in contract services, and considering that was just a Tyler carryover from what transitioned from the auditor's office budget to our budget.
Shows a 52% increase.
It's a lot. You gotta remember, we took on the Tyler project, and when we did the Tyler project, those being paid by the auditor's office. So that's kind of an inflated number based on the fact that the auditor's office is no longer paying some of those fees for the system, the CAD, RMS.
So it's maintenance.
Yes.
You guys are at 17 full-time employees in 911, is that correct?
No, 16 is what we're authorized for.
I'm not sure 17. Set.
You had 16.
Well, but
Third.
the 17 is 16 full-time dispatchers and then the splitting of.
17 FTEs, in other
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yep, okay, yeah, so 17.
17 and 911.
Yeah.
I have 15 in January this year.
Well, they split. You're probably gonna see Major and some other captains that are actually being paid that are located in another fund, but because, for instance, the Major oversees 911, portion of that salary is in the 911 budget.
No, it's still feeling.
So in Munis, they are like, if you look at Jimmy Sweat, okay? his location isn't going to be 911, but for budgeting purposes, they take a little bit of his salary and pay that out of 911. They'll pay some of that salary out of jail, some of that. So you're right. The location in Munis won't be 911.
Mhm.
Okay.
All right.
I didn't.
Yeah, yeah.
Question.
Is that correct?
So 100% that is the accurate. So again, a third of my salary is from 911,
Right.
and then the ladies in the office, a percentage based on the employees number count is how that number is broken down for how they are accepted out of that budget for the work they do, doing payroll and other associated tasks.
Correct.
So 16 is the number that we're authorized. We're currently at 15 in 911, and then the other portion ends up being the mix of the numbers from above. Because there's an additional, obviously, also the digital evidence technician, a third of her salary comes from that because she handles the public records requests and pulls data from of the systems for that.
911's pretty straightforward. So I don't have any more questions on 911, you guys.
Which would you like next, law enforcement or jail?
You get the pick. It's your day.
All right, well, then we'll just go to law.
Yeah.
Again, the increases and what we've asked for 2026 and what we requested from 2025, a couple of things. Again, the transition in the contract services from RMS and those CAD systems and whatnot being transitioned from the auditor's office. We moved over to Tyler to being out of our budget now. That'll take care of that. And then also, we added the Axon body cameras and whatnot, which would, it transitioned out of our equipment line item to being in a services contract. We pay for those things based on yearly subscription fees rather than buying the products outright and then putting them in there. Personnel wise, it is one person different than what we asked for in 25, and that is due to the approved school resource officer at Clear Fork. Other than that, the personnel is the same. Some of the, like you said earlier, Commissioner, with 911, the transitions of the administration people, how they're factored into the salaries is a little bit different than what it was last year because of our current organizational structure. Other than that, if you look, the increase pretty close to the 9% that the employees would have received, or sorry, it'd be 5% this year for salary increases due to the contract language for that and to be fully staffed. We're, like I said, just one short of being fully staffed right now. And last year at this point, we were not at that number. So that big ticket item usually comes out of the capital, but that would be the request for 6 cruisers as we requested last year. Other than that, our equipment line item request is less this year than what we asked for last year. Because again, some of those services that have transitioned over to being in contract services like body cameras and such, we don't have to pay for the equipment and batteries and replacements that we have to buy every year out of our equipment line items. So that line item did go down this year.
So I don't know if we want to segue it, but we're trying to wrap our head around all the capital costs the sheriff is requesting, reconcile that with Josh. So we have about $420,000 in cruiser requests. We have requests for new body scanner that was previously and generously donated. That's $160,000. We have requests for a key control and 4 security doors. And then we're trying to wrap our heads around the total request of the jail kitchen up. Right, Stacy? We're trying to figure out who and what is going where. So what is the total cost of the jail kitchen?
So again, the estimates that we put in here were approximately $550,000.
Right.
Now, there's some ancillary costs that go along with that, and we had a meeting yesterday with Commissioner Banks, a work session with him, and we still have some answers that we need to get. One of those things, we needed all of the information back from the engineers about timelines, because we're estimating a 2 to 3 month possibility if we replace the floor in the kitchen being down during that time. So those ancillary costs would include additional costs for having a portable kitchen to provide the hot meals during that time, increased costs due to the fact having to use styrofoam and not being able to use, regular plates and, reusable cups and those type of things, because we won't have a kitchen facility to clean those things. You also would have to look into portable coolers, portable cold storage, portable freezers. It would go into that cost to do that. We don't have that exact number yet because we didn't have until yesterday a firm timeline of how long we would be looking for the kitchen to be down. Based on those conversations yesterday, again, I think a safe estimate would be 2 to 3 months. Would you agree, Commissioner?
Yeah,
We go that route.
We're talking about 50 days of actual work, and whether if you work on weekends, you're gonna 2 months. If you're not working, which will add to a greater cost. And if you, with just working 5 days a week, we're talking 3 months.
Those are the timelines provided to us. Now, that would be with the understanding that FAR timetable of 3 months would be to include moving all the tiles on the floor, pouring a leveling surface, grinding that down, and then repouring it so they could do that, and then putting whatever epoxy finish that the engineer would recommend on the floor. And then that would include, top end would be including a new washer, dishwasher for that, and then the other kitchen equipment such as the kettles and cooking equipment that are, 25 years old at this point. So to answer your question, Commissioner, at this point, there's still a couple variables that have not been completely worked through that would be part of that total cost.
So if you even remove the ancillary costs, I'm showing roughly 550,000. Now, is that 550,000, Stacy, not include Josh's 100, making it 650, or is that 550 total?
I can just speak for the 550, and the 550 would be anticipating some of those ancillary costs that would go into that.
What line item do you have that in?
It was equipment.
Okay, so Josh's 100's on top of their 550.
So then that would be 650.
Yes.
Okay. We have 450 for cruisers, 160 for body scanners, 65 for key control and access. And do we believe the 650 would include the ancillary coverages? So your estimate included those ancillary costs.
To the best that we could estimate them with the known information at the time.
There's gotta be some research done on this before we know what it's gonna be.
So could we take the 100 out of Josh or leave it? Okay, so I show that as over $1.3 million. In 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 requests. That is substantial.
It is.
I think if we had our druthers, I'll speak for me first. We definitely need to do the kitchen. But I don't think it's realistic to ask the taxpayers to come up with $1.3 million in 1 year. We have a $300,000 request from Common Pleas already for new servers, other substantial capital requests. So I just think we need to be prepared. Nothing is final yet, but I don't know if we can fully fund. That's all.
No, and we completely understand that. And, we had, our internal discussions. I guess if you're asking us to, prioritize those options, definitely the kitchen is a priority. I mean, that has to be priority number one. I think priority two is would be the cruisers. And the reason that I say that is that all the extra more costs that come with us, it includes maintenance and whatnot that you start getting into with the older cars. The body scanner, I think that, you know, we have a maintenance agreement. We can continue to use the one that we have now. I mean, so I think that would be, you know, one that could be pushed down the road if need be, you know. But then from there, I would definitely say that the key control would be the lowest priority out of all of those items. And there's nothing to say that given more time, we couldn't try to reach out to the folks that donated for the first body scanner and continue to work that route, you know, to find, you know, additional avenues for funding for that body scanner.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's a lot. I show the total sheriff's request for the entire general fund, so that would be 911, law enforcement, and jail. I track that. Sheriff's office makes up 43% of the total general fund request. Oh, so you agree with that amount?
Sounds pretty accurate, yeah. I think to keep in mind, we are a 24/7 operation. The jail is a huge chunk of that, by far the largest of our three budgets. And that is something that, you know, the county is obligated to provide. And obviously we understand the tough situation you gentlemen are in with finding how to fund everyone at the levels that they need to perform their duties efficiently and safely. And best of luck to that one.
Two less COs in the jail for this year, which I mean, still pretty, you guys are almost at fully staffed, but I show two less correction officers and no more Witzke's work crew.
Yeah, we have not been able to keep that one up and running at this point. It's just been difficult with the turnover and whatnot. The reduction of the two was to add an administrative position in the jail that we felt due to the situation that we were in, that we needed to get a handle on things. And that was our response to getting the jail back on track and getting it to a level that not only do we find acceptable, but the taxpayers of Richland County find acceptable.
And also another potential cost would be that the jail deductible is now at $100,000.
That is accurate, yes. And it's not just the jail, it's everything in public, sheriff's office in total. Now, that does not include automobile liability, and that does not include employment liability. It would be just for acts and omissions.
Now, the recent sheriff's cruiser that was just in an accident, was that cruiser totaled?
We don't have the final determination on that. Corsa, we filed a claim with Corsa, so they're processing that out. Their adjuster has not came down to give us the final determination on that, but most likely that's going to be yes.
So wouldn't that reduce then your cruiser ask if you're getting another new cruiser?
Well, that car would be just replacing a current car.
So was that one a relative?
Totaled.
I mean, if it is, you're saying that was a newer cruiser?
Yeah, it was only within 3 years old.
So your request, but it still would be another new cruiser, which would change the rotation though, right?
Well, I guess it depends on how many, you know, at what level that car was. It was a K9 car that we just purchased within the last 3 years.
So the request would still be for 6.
Yes, because when we submitted this, the accident hadn't occurred yet. There would be no way for us to know that had.
This wouldn't be a reduction then from the 6 to the 5.
No.
Okay. And you're comfortable coming down to in the corrections officer side on the jail piece?
Yes, I was discussed internally, and we are satisfied with those numbers.
Do you think you will, maybe it'd be a good time to explain to Hayden and Greg what Witzke's work crew was, maybe that, so they understand what we're talking.
Yeah, it was the county work crew. They went out and provided assistance to townships, to the county, to other office holders, where we would take inmates out of the facility and perform some of those duties for them. I know they helped out county maintenance quite a bit in the time. Something that eventually we would like to get back, but until we're fully staffed in the jail and get those operations up and running the way that we need to, that ancillary, service that we provided. But eventually, hopefully maybe by the end of this year, or I'm sorry, the end of next year to the beginning of 27, we should be able to fill that and try to get that back up and running. That's something that's been truly missed. One of the things that helped out a lot of other county agencies and townships. I know down Monroe Township, they would come down at least once a year and help clean out and paint and do things like that. I know they helped Josh's group with mowing sometimes and cleaning stuff like that up. And a lot of times if folks had office furniture that needed moved or books or supplies or whatever needed moved, they would help out with that. But COVID kind of put a kibosh to that. It was more so getting people in and out of the jail during COVID, the biggest part of that. So eventually that's something we would like to see return.
And we used them in the village of Belleville a few times. They did good work.
Yep.
I also do not see a personal service schedule for the 3 people that are on the wage scales. Am I missing that?
Their salaries would be on.
Because I have a 22-page budget. I went over it pretty thoroughly, but I don't believe I see a personal service schedule for the
So
scales.
individually, no, but they would be added in each budget, what that cost would be for each one of the positions.
Right, but
Based on that.
we do like to see what the salaries are to keep them, to note them. We all keep, well, I certainly keep a master list, all employees in the general fund.
So I guess Commissioner, it would be just simply adding those 3 positions in each of the 3 budgets, their total salary.
Yeah, because I believe Stacy and Andrew had sent out the budget guidelines, a request for those employees that are in the scales and where they fall, not just for you guys, but for everyone. So it's not a, and again, I don't see it.
Again, they are included in there. They're just, their portion of each one of their salary from each budget would be included. So
And we'll need,
have to total them.
need to see that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Easy enough.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I think that answers all the question.
I'm going back to the 001 legal. And I see your revenue is down $100,000.
Which specific line, Commissioner?
The CSEA contract on 55,000. And rest of them all add up to another 50,000.
You're talking about revenue, correct?
Yes.
All right.
What budget are you in, D?
Law enforcement. Oh,
I think it was through.
I'm just curious as why you'd be down that much.
Well, as you can see, we always estimate that number low because it is a reimbursement. So historically, if I'm not right, it's been 100,000 across the board since 2023 is what we've estimated. And then as it comes in additionally from that, then we
You're ahead of
would.
the game right now.
I'm sorry.
You're ahead of the game, right?
Yes, yes. And again, since that is a direct reimbursement, like for example, if we had a natural or we had something going on, like the eclipse and those folks weren't able to do the CSEA during that time period, we wouldn't be able to get reimbursed for those funds. So we always estimate that low. We don't want to underestimate revenue. Or overestimate, I should say.
The VWC chargeback, have nothing down for this year, and that's been, well, last 25 and 24, it was pretty consistent for what you have this year, but is there a reason that,
We haven't been billed yet.
okay.
Yes,
just
we usually get that end of November, 1st of December.
Okay.
So we have not been billed yet.
You have anything, Cliff?
I didn't throw it.
Yeah, I'm done.
Good news on the revenue side. But curiosity, other, you had a $1,500 budget, 4,632 so far.
That's course of reimbursements that I put in there. Or,
It's not under course, it's under other.
oh, other. That would be anything that we get reimbursed for that I'd put in there or, put in there recently. I have to check. But we always go lower because I don't know.
Been pretty consistent at 1,500.
Right, but I mean, I didn't know what, we always go lower than what I think I'm gonna bring in because that could be inconsistent.
You got a big other there.
Yes.
On the jail side, Mansfield annual fee. Anticipation of.
Are we talking revenue or, okay,
It's it. Because when we give from 25 to 26. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, in 20.
The true up?
Yeah, I mean. Anticipating. Over $1.5 million going up, is that?
well, that's just because we haven't got the payments yet, all the way through the whole year.
Like the rest come through, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, it just
In
hasn't
five.
received yet. That's the difference between year to date and what we
In five.
anticipated, yes.
So this is just what it is right now, not what you're anticipating.
Yeah, received, yes.
And they didn't get billed. So they didn't pay. So once they got billed, they paid.
Going over the September budget.
And that's me, not the sheriff's office.
No, I was like, I don't see Daniel, I don't see that.
Like, no, they can't pay unless they're billed.
Right.
Right.
So we caught that when I look over all the finances. Questions?
Um,
I'm sure the media will though.
So, I'm following this all right here. So you have $1.3 million in additional requests coming year, correct?
I don't think that's necessarily the proper way to say. I would say it's $1.3 million in capital.
They got a lot more than 1.3 million in requests.
Yeah.
But $1.3 million in capital requests, so, and you're talking redoing the kitchen in the jail, fix cruisers, body scanner.
And key control for the jail.
4 security doors.
And 4 security doors, but the 4 security doors. And I think obviously it's 40,000, which is not anybody stretch imagination, it's a little bit of money. But historically would have been included in our equipment line item that we would cover.
So I guess what is your overall budget request? I mean,
So it's broken down into 3 separate budgets. So for law enforcement would be approximately $8.8 million. The jail is approximately $12 million. And 911 right around 1.2 million, but let me get the exact number here. $0.1 million for the jail. So,
For 911.
I'm sorry, for 911. So 12 and
About $22.3 million.
yeah. 22.3.
Out of 52 million in requests, which is 4%.
And again, that also include the 24/7 operation, the jail operation, everything that goes along with that, 150 employees. So while we are the largest share, we are also probably by far the largest operation of that section.
The largest share when we start cutting.
Used to that, Commissioner.
Well, here's where we are, just to give you an idea. Include Pat's, as I called him in the newspaper, a notorious sandbagger. Pat had put in originally $22.6 million for sales tax. I think we'll probably be around 27 million this year, so I thought that was Pat-esque, but even worse than Pat has ever done before. So,
25.5.
oh, he raised it to 25. Well,
25.5.
which is still not. There's conservative and there's Pat. So if we come up to what I feel is a realistic projection while also being conservative, I still show, just so you guys have an idea of where we're at. We're probably gonna have to cut around 9 to 10%, depending upon where we get Pat. That's $4.6 million to pass a balanced budget. And again, you've heard that before. We pass a true balanced budget in Richland County. That's where revenue and expenses for the year have to match regardless of any excess monies. So that's a lot. So just kind of giving you an idea. We're at over $52 million in requests.
And what do you? Yeah, for the budget total.
I think we got to get to about 47.6 or 48. Maybe, again. I think we're gonna be over, Pat hasn't closed October yet. So some good news in looking at budget projections there, but then also some bad news as I track the State Department of Taxation's projections. So if you look at sales tax, I believe, and again, we haven't closed October, that we will be 8% better than last year and much better than the state average, and that's a result of incarceration. Right? There is certainly a benefit to the community and the businesses. That's good. The bad is looking at the state's projections, November is projected, this is November collections, obviously, or November distributions. Obviously, the month isn't over, but you're in arrears. We're looking to be 8% worse than last November. So I can't make heads or tails out of sales tax right now. So that would put us, if we're 8% worse on the sales tax side in November, that would leave us 1 month. That would put us at 3% better November year to date this year than November year to date last year. But I don't know how December is going to shake out. So again, I think we're going to come in around that 27 million mark this year. And Pat has come up to what now?
25.5.
That's still a lot less than what we will collect this year. So that's something we'll have to do. I have put in for now, we have the Pat version, I call it, and then the Tony's realistic version that he gets a kick out of. I put in 26.8 right now for 2026. That's why I'm saying I can't give you exact because I don't know where Pat will be comfortable coming at it. So if we come up to 26.8, we still have to cut over 9%, over $4 million. So that's kind of where we are. And we'll get there. So the sky's not falling, but just we're going to have to make some cuts to pass balanced budget.
Just out of curiosity, historically, where is that number usually from the original?
Changes. We had double digits at one point. Remember when we first took office, when times were a lot tighter, we asked departments to cut, I think, 10%.
Cut or sales tax.
Where
No, overall.
requests come in to realistic.
Let me look at last year's. So if I look
What the request was and how much we had to reduce it. So
Yes, historically.
So last year on day one, get to that. I have the start of budget spreadsheet. Let's see what we had to cut last year. We had to cut 6.2%. It was 3 million last year. So we're a third higher in terms of cuts from just 1 year.
When you're factoring capital improvements, that's out of a, are you thinking that's out of a separate?
That's all that's at the start of the budget, right? Historically, we remove some of the significant capital projects out of the general fund, which helps us. Like we can usually cut a couple mil. It's when you get to that last million to $500,000. Like, so for instance, Denise Jackson back there, their budget is
By the nature of the business, small.
right. I mean, cutting the recorder's budget won't, it's not to say, and she puts in good requests, but if she comes in once a year and wants the Cadillac of scanning machines or something, we'll have to take a look at it, but, it's right. It's the big hitters, because that's how you're gonna get there, right? So you guys, common pleas, juvenile court. There's gonna be I think there's gonna be some cuts in common pleas this year, and the rationale simply is the taxpayers just provided common pleas with a brand new courtroom of about $600,000 to $700,000. Just paid lunches. We didn't feel that was fair, right? Their staff was the only people in the building who didn't have paid lunches, so the taxpayers absorbed some increases there. They just redid with a lot of their money, some of their upstairs, but now they're seeking over $300,000 in server upgrades.
And they are going to speed up court, so it's going, because a third more cases are gonna hit.
So just to give you an idea, and theirs is Thursday, so I don't want to go over the common pleas because they're not here. I show, in looking at this yesterday as I prepare for the rest of the week, if you just look at costs in common pleas, their costs from where they were not that long ago, I think you're over 30% more in just a couple of years. So hold on, I'll get you that exact amount.
Percentage that goes to the criminal justice system.
37%. Common pleas budget request for this year is 30% higher than where they were in just 2022. 37%. So I think our questions with the servers are going to be if there's a life cycle. I think the question for that would be what has been the plan to set aside monies, right? Because now we're looking at the taxpayers are being asked to fund $300,000 in brand new servers.
So I guess big picture, where we're at right now with all the budget requests minus capital projects, which you just spoke about, pretty historically close to where we've been at this.
So higher, but not anything. Well, if you do the PAT budget, we're just ridiculous. I mean, we're trying to get to human being levels of budgeting here.
Perspective, we're all pretty.
Yeah, like I said, last year we had to cut 6%. This year we have to cut 9%. We have to cut $1 million more than where we were last year. So
The criminal justice system makes up 70.
depends on what you consider, right? If you're including clerks, juvenile court, but I think the taxpayers would say they want justice and roads, so that's okay, right? We'll get there. Just kind of giving you an idea of where we're at. I don't think you're gonna get all of your capital requests. No. Kitchen's important, huh?
It has to be the top priority. I think the kitchen has to be, because that's when you're just kicking the can down the road. And then the farther you push that project out, the more it's gonna cost the taxpayers down the road. You wait 2 years. I mean, just look at construction costs over the last 5 years. I mean, they've almost doubled in costs. It's crazy how those have exploded.
Costs at jail and juvenile detention, right?
Absolutely.
When I looked at the price of Western equipment, glad I got out when I did.
Cruiser costs have gone up.
Yeah, I mean, 2016 cost of a cruiser, just the car alone was $18,500. Now the car alone is $42,000 to $44,000. And you didn't have computers then. You didn't have all the other things that go into the car.
And we should go to motorcycles like chips and horses.
Well, if you want to fund it, it might be a little difficult in the winter time, but no, I
Cycles and rush all year long.
yeah, good for them.
Get the chains on the tire.
Yeah,
But then Adam Gove will get mad at us for the road, so you can't win one way or the other.
no.
Oh, yeah. It's gonna be a fun budget cycle.
Yes, sir. Any other questions for us?
I'm more really all related to the kitchen, so get it.
Good.
All right.
Bill, Jimmy, anything? Brian, anything we missed? Ladies?
Please send the personal service schedule so I can update my scales.
One thing you'll need to note on that, that may change. We'll send it to you now, but that may end up changing again because we're resubmitting the job descriptions to Jenny to have them rescaled because of the changes we've made, and they've taken on some responsibilities that used to be my responsibilities since I transitioned to major, and we haven't filled that position, so. We're
All right.
on to be repointed, I think is what.
Exactly.
Yes. So we're sending that on to Jenny.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
Adjourn.
Oh, sorry. Any more questions, Greg? We will adjourn at 10:40. Thank you.